$157 billion.
That's a number it's almost hard to even picture.
It really is. I mean, that's the projected spending for the pet industry in 2025. To put that in perspective, that's larger than the GDP of entire nations. We're talking Ukraine or Morocco.
It's a colossal economic engine.
Totally. And it's all fueled by, our obsession with our furry friends. But looking at the stack of research we have today, from the APPA's State of the Industry report to these darker reports on AI, I get the sense that the money is actually the least interesting part of this whole story.
You're absolutely right. The money is just a symptom. The real story here is about a fundamental shift. I mean, a shift in reality.
How so?
Well, on one side, you've got this tangible, super high-tech evolution of pet care. We're spending billions to make our dogs and cats basically live forever.
Okay.
But on the other side, there's this digital distortion field. A world where our love for animals is being, frankly, weaponized against us through AI slop and staged rescues.
It feels like we're living in two parallel universes. There's the light side, where I can buy a robot to scan my dog's poop. And yes, we are definitely going to talk about that.
And we have to.
And then there's this dark side, where the line between a wild animal and, a Disney character is just completely vanishing.
And that blurring of lines is dangerous. So the mission for this deep dive is to help you, the listener, navigate this split reality. We want to help you understand the new demographics driving that $100 billion bus, how to use the good tech, and crucially, how to spot the bad content so you don't accidentally support animal cruelty with your clicks.
So let's start with the humans behind the wallet. Who's actually spending this $157 billion? Because for a while there, during the height of inflation, it felt like everyone was pulling back. But this 2025 State of the Industry report, it suggests a comeback.
It's a massive comeback. We're looking at 94 million U.S. households that now own a pet.
94 million.
Yeah, and that's up from 82 million just 2 years ago in 2023. That's 12 million new households entering the market.
That's a staggering influx. But who are they? I'm assuming this isn't just empty nesters replacing the kids who went off to college.
No, not at all. The driver here is, it's unequivocally Gen Z. This was the stat that just jumped out at me from the report.
Oh, well, I think I know the one you mean.
Between 2023 and 2024, Gen Z pet-owning households increased by 43.5%.
Wait, 43.5% in a single year? That seems incredibly high. What is driving that specific generation to adopt at that rate?
It's a convergence of a few factors. You've got delayed parenthood, people having children later in life or not at all.
Right.
And that's mixed with the lingering effects of the remote work boom.
Yeah.
Gen Z is at home more, they're lonelier according to mental health surveys, and they're looking for that companionship. But they aren't just getting a goldfish.
No.
70% of Gen Z owners have 2 or more pets.
So they're building packs.
They're building families. And this brings us to the psychological shift. We talk about humanization in the industry a lot, but this feels different.
Yeah.
The data shows that 48% of Gen Z Americans see no difference between a pet and a human child.
Okay, let's pause on that. Nearly half of them see no difference. I mean, look, I love my dog, he's family, but I don't think he's literally a human child. Doesn't that mindset completely change how they shop?
Completely. If you view your dog as a dog, you buy them dog food. If you view them as your child, you buy them human-grade, farm-to-table, organic stewardship blends.
Right.
That belief system justifies the premiumization of everything. It explains why spending is up, even if the volume of goods sold is actually slowing down. They're buying less stuff, but much, much more expensive stuff.
Speaking of shifting demographics, we have to talk about the cat guy phenomenon. The report highlighted this, and I feel like I'm seeing it in the real world too. The whole crazy cat lady stereotype is basically dead, isn't it?
It's rapidly becoming a relic. I mean, the data is fascinating here. We're seeing a double-digit increase in male cat owners. Specifically, 46% of millennial cat owners now identify as male.
Almost half.
And for Gen V, it's 38%.
So why this shift? Is it just that cats are easier for, the gig economy lifestyle?
That's certainly part of it. If you want to travel or have a hybrid work schedule, a cat is just more adaptable than a dog. But sociologists also point to a shift in masculinity itself. Gen Z and millennials are less bound by those rigid 1950s ideas that, dogs are for men, cats are for women. Owning a cat is almost seen as a sign of autonomy and, emotional intelligence now.
It's a complete rebranding of the species, but here's the catch. We have these devoted pet parents who treat their animals like children, yet the report says financial preparedness is dropping. That seems contradictory.
It does.
If you love them like a child, wouldn't you save for their emergency surgery?
You'd think so, but the data shows only 49% of owners feel financially prepared for an emergency. That's down from 59% in 2023. It suggests people are prioritizing the visible care, the expensive food, the toys, the subscription boxes over the safety net, but they are trying to compensate with technology. 77% are planning a health reset for 2025, and they're turning to Silicon Valley to do it.
Which brings us to the light side of our deep dive. The gadgets. I have to say, some of this stuff sounds like science fiction, and some of it sounds like a prank. Please explain Poop Scan.
It does sound like a joke, doesn't it? But Poop Scan and its cousin Tooth Scan are actually very sophisticated examples of wellness tech. They use visual AI trained on massive data sets of, well, biological waste and dental imagery.
So literally, I snap a photo of my dog's business in the backyard, and an app tells me if he's sick.
Exactly. It looks for color, consistency, foreign objects, things that might indicate parasites or digestive issues. It gives you a triage assessment right on your phone.
I guess that beats staring at it and guessing.
It does. And then you have things like DogGPT, an award-winning chatbot that fills the gap when your vet isn't available. It's not just Googling symptoms, it's using a curated veterinary database to give advice.
And the hardware.
Oh yeah, the hardware. Smart collars like the FitBark 2, tracking calories and sleep, and of course those self-cleaning litter boxes that cost nearly $1,000.
But this is where I want to inject a bit of reality because we found a really interesting sidebar in the research about this liability gap. We're filling our homes with this expensive tech $500 litter boxes, smart feeders, and then we're hiring pet sitters through apps like Wag or Rover.
This is a critical point that most people miss until it's way too late. The gig economy just hasn't caught up to the smart home pet economy.
Right, because the apps usually offer pet insurance, which covers the dog if the dog gets hurt. But what happens if the sitter drops my $500 poop scan robot?
Usually, you're out of luck. Most of these apps do not provide liability insurance for the sitter when it comes to property damage.
So the sitter, who is likely working a gig job for extra cash,
Probably doesn't have the funds to replace a piece of high-end tech.
so the homeowner assumes the app covers it, the sitter assumes the app covers it, and the app just says, read the terms of service.
Precisely. As we tech up our homes, we're creating these little financial landmines. But moving away from the domestic sphere for a moment, I don't want to be too cynical about the tech, because when we apply this same AI capability to the wild, the results are genuinely inspiring.
This was the stuff from the World Wildlife Fund, right? This seemed like the purest good use case we found.
It really is. We're talking about conservation tech. The WWF is using an open source AI model called SpeciesNet. Now, anyone who's ever used a trail camera knows the struggle.
Oh, yeah?
You get 10,000 photos of grass blowing in the wind for every one photo of an actual animal.
It's the haystack problem.
Exactly. SpeciesNet solves that. It filters images with 99.4% accuracy. It creates a data set of just the animals. Right now in the Peruvian Amazon, specifically the Tahuamano region, they're using this to track jaguars, tapirs, and ocelots.
And it's not just counting them, right? It's helping them survive infrastructure projects.
Yes, they're monitoring canopy bridges, basically these rope ladders strung over highways, to see if arboreal wildlife are actually using them to cross safely. The AI proves the concept works, which helps get funding for more bridges. It's technology literally bridging the gap between human expansion and wildlife survival.
See, that is the dream. AI helping us coexist with nature. And you knew there was a but coming.
I did.
For every AI model saving a jaguar, there seems to be another one generating a fake bear just to trick us.
And this is where we cross over to the dark side. We have to talk about AI slop.
Slop. It was the word of the year for 2025. It feels incredibly appropriate.
It's so vivid. It refers to low-quality, mass-produced, AI-generated content that's designed solely to game social media algorithms. It's not art. It's engagement bait. And unfortunately, animals are the perfect victims for slop because we are biologically wired to look at them.
And we are seeing the real-world consequences of this in Japan right now, the Japan bear crisis. This isn't just online. People are actually getting hurt.
It's a tragedy on two fronts. Physically, Japan is seeing record bear attacks, 13 deaths, over 100 injuries in the last season alone.
Wow.
A shortage of acorns and beech nuts is driving bears into urban areas. These are hungry, desperate, dangerous animals.
So that's the reality, a lethal threat.
But the digital fantasy is completely different. If you open TikTok in that region, you were just flooded with AI-generated videos, many made with OpenAI's Sora, depicting these warm, fuzzy interactions.
I saw a description of one of these. It was a generated video of a grandmother feeding a bear fruit from her hand. Another one showed schoolgirls fighting off a bear with karate moves.
It's absurd, but it creates this Disneyified view of wildlife. The University of Cordoba did a study on this and found that these videos confuse the public's survival instincts.
What do you mean?
Well, instead of lying face down and protecting their head, which is the expert advice for an attack, people might hesitate. They might think, someone just wants an apple, or I can fight this thing.
It's gaslighting the public about the nature of a predator.
It is.
Yeah.
And it creates a false baseline. You mentioned the leopard in the backyard video earlier.
Yeah, the one where a house cat scares away a leopard. It looked so real.
Millions of people watched that and believed it. It reinforces this dangerous idea that wild animals are just cowardly pets, or that endangered species are abundant and just hanging out in suburbia. It erodes the respect we should have for their wildness.
And that erosion of respect, that blurring of reality, that leads us to the ugliest part of our research. We have to talk about fake rescues.
This is the hardest part to discuss, but it's necessary. This isn't AI. This is real people staging animal cruelty for clout.
And when we say staged, we aren't talking about like a reenactment. Explain what's actually happening in these videos.
The creator intentionally puts an animal in a life-threatening situation. They'll bury a puppy alive or trap a monkey in a jar or glue a kitten to a trap. Then they turn on the camera, discover the animal, and save it.
So the hero in the video is actually the abuser.
Correct. The Social Media Animal Cruelty Coalition, or SMACC, found hundreds of these videos. And the numbers, specifically where they live online, are shocking. Facebook hosted 87.5% of the reported cruelty links.
That is a massive failure of moderation, isn't it?
It's worse than just a failure to catch it. In some cases, the platforms actually incentivize it. There are reports of Meta awarding creator badges to abusive accounts because they hit engagement metrics.
So the algorithm doesn't know why people are commenting.
No. Even if they're screaming, this is fake, it just sees activity, writes a check.
That's horrifying. We're literally monetizing torture. So for the listener, the person who just loves animals and wants to help, how do they spot this? Because these videos are designed to pull at your heartstrings.
SMACC developed a really useful tool for this. It's called the ARC test: authenticity, reality check, and creation.
Okay, let's walk through this practically. Let's say I'm scrolling and I see a video of a golden retriever saving a duckling from a python in an open field. How do I apply ARC?
So step 1, authenticity. Click on the profile. Is it of a verified rescue organization like the RSPCA or a local shelter?
Or is it Cute Animal Vids 99?
Exactly, or Daily Rescue Hero.
If there's no link to a registered charity, that is your first huge red flag.
Okay, step 2, reality check.
Look at the biology. You mentioned a python and a duckling in an open field. Pythons are ambush predators. They don't hunt in open grass in broad daylight unless someone placed them there. Also, look at the predator's behavior. In fake videos, the snake or the attacker often looks sluggish, maybe timid.
Why is that? It's often because the animal has been drugged, or its mouth has been taped shut, or even defanged.
Ugh, that makes me sick. And finally, creation.
This is all about the cinematography. If you stumbled upon a dying animal, what would you do? You'd drop everything and help.
Right, you wouldn't set up a tripod.
You wouldn't get a drone shot. You wouldn't make sure the lighting is perfect, if the camera angles are too good, if the editing creates a perfect narrative arc with suspense music. It's a movie, not a rescue.
That's such a crucial distinction. Real emergencies are messy, shaky, and chaotic. They aren't cinematic masterpieces.
Exactly. If it feels like a movie, you should probably treat it like fiction.
So if we zoom out, we're looking at this incredibly complex landscape. We have the new pet parent who treats their dog like a human child. We have technology that can track jaguars in the Amazon or analyze our cat's health. But we also have this deluge of fake content that preys on our empathy.
It comes right back to that split reality we started with. The technology itself is neutral. It can save a species, or it can generate a fake bear that gets someone killed. The variable is us, how we consume it, and how we perceive it.
So what's the takeaway for you, the listener, today? How do we be responsible citizens in this $157 billion chaos?
First, on the tech side, read the fine print. If you're buying smart devices and hiring gig workers, understand where the liability sits. Don't just assume the app has your back.
And on the content side?
Don't feed the algorithm. If a video fails the ARC test, do not engage, don't comment, fake, don't share it to expose it. The algorithm only counts the click, not the sentiment. Report it silently and scroll past.
And proactively.
Curate your feed. Follow the scientists. Follow the accredited zoos. Follow the people who are using SpeciesNet. Give your attention to the reality, not the fantasy.
I want to leave everyone with a thought that's been nagging at me since we looked at that humanization data. We established that Gen Z views pets as children, so they're projecting humanity onto animals. But then we look at the AI content, and it's projecting humanity onto bears and leopards.
Like a double mirror.
Exactly. If we spend all our time turning animals into little furry humans, both in our homes with strollers and onesies, and on our screens with AI-generated bears acting like people, are we slowly losing the ability to love them for what they actually are?
Which is something wild and distinct and, frankly, a lot more mysterious than just a human in a fursuit.
Maybe the most respectful thing we can do for animals in 2026 is to just let them be animals.
Couldn't agree more.
Thanks for deep diving with us. Check your sources, check your sitters, and stay real.
And watch out for the bears.
See you next time.